Welcome back to Railroads Online. I'm River, and we are here with our two new shiny boxcars. That's a good sign. It means we're getting tools, right? Kind of a little bit of a long journey to get tools. And they are shiny, aren't they? They didn't weather them much at all, so that's good. I wanted to talk to you guys as best I can about what we're doing, and I made a little bit of a change to what I want to do. And I'm not sure that this is the best way ever, but I think it's pretty reasonable. The thing that we want to do today, one way or the other, is to get our first crude oil at least processed at the oil field. If we have time, maybe we'll drag it over the refinery, but getting over the refinery will be another whole, we're not going to be able to probably get oil in one episode. But I started out up here because I wanted to mention that the oil field can only carry 18 tools, which is less than one of these cars full of tools. So you really have to put the beams and the steel pipes you need down there in there first. Now I went over to the sawmill and I was going to grab, just because I have to go by the sawmill anyway, just to get over here at this point. But I was going to grab the flat cars, the tier 1 flat cars we need for the steel pipes, and maybe even the regular tier 2 flat cars. But what I realized was, I don't really want to be I already had logs for one thing. I have the right number of tier 1 flat cars over there that I really don't necessarily want to break up that train each time. It's not like I need to carry logs. Now with the sawmill, I think what we need to do is I have that train with 13 tier 2 flat cars. I think we're just going to pull a few off of there because we kind of have to pull over there anyway to get the beams, right? So we need to pull into that space. It won't be that big a deal to hook up to some cars, fill the cars up with the beams we need. Now the problem will be if we want to make repeated loops, those cars are going to be in our way. So we should talk about maybe that's the first thing that we really see a need for a yard up there by the sawmill where we would be able to drop off some of those tier 2 flat cars. I hope all of that makes sense. Maybe doing it today will make a little more sense. I know when I try to follow people's descriptions like that, it's just difficult. So all of that said, the reason that I'm still up here is because I don't want to break up that logging train with those flat cars. These are only $300. We can make pretty good money relatively quickly. So if we ordered 2 of these, all right, let me get another one going before I try to talk too much more. All right, tier 1 flat car. Right, so we now have 2 tier 1 flat cars. That means that we can carry 24 steel beams. We can leave these 2 down there, right? So we need to get steel beams and tools over to. Took that break off not a little bit too soon, but can't think, dude. Let me finish this real quick. So we can leave these down there, right? They're going to go to different rails once we get down there anyway, but we can leave them down there at the tool mill somehow. We might have to have another little place to put them off to the side or something. Or do we? No, maybe we could just leave them in let other trains bypass if you're dropping off coal or iron. Does that make sense? So that way we don't have to break up our logging car. And if we leave, I like leaving logs on that logging car so that we can, the sawmills is kind of maxed out at that point. In addition, Betsy's parked there, so Betsy's in the way. Because I was gonna at this point leave Betsy permanently my log train, so she's in the way down there. So yeah, we have a lot. It's really they just say that the fact that they've made it so small a loading thing really does kind of throw you for a loop because you can't just hook up, I don't know, 6 of these and drop off a bunch of tools. Not the tools are hard to come by anyway, but then the steel pipes are no different. But then I can see there's going to be but anyway, it just makes it very difficult when you can only drop off less than a carload of these things. I think they should at least maybe make it 30, where, you have a little bit of flexibility in how you do things. But they've kind of promised that they're not going to make this easy on us, and I think a lot of the people that are complaining, I don't know, we'll see. Sometimes people change their attitudes when enough people complain at them, right? But but then again, there's those of us like me, whether it's fortunate or not. I mean, I truly enjoy the difficulty. Like that makes it more worth it. I like the difficulty of trying to figure out the logistics and to cut the trees and the lay the tracks and all of that stuff. So we should be good to go. Yep, I can already see cars doing their semi-elastic wiggling back and forth, I hope. So there we go. So now I don't know that I have too much more to say on the ride down there. I was thinking of that, but I kind of said it all while we were here. And I wanted to buy those cars with you guys. So let me head down to, let's make sure everybody's coming with us. Let me head down to the steel sawmill, and we need to pick up 4 cars. I have some of the switches already switched, so I don't know that we'll normally do this, but we need to drag these 2 cars down there. But normally we're going to have 2 of these, and then, well, not normally. We may expand that, but the other problem we have down there at the oil refinery, when we go to bring our steel beams over, our 2 cars load, let's say we had 4, we can only drop off 20 at a time. So, so then you're gonna have to like drop off some rail car or some tools, and then you're gonna have to drop off some steel beams. So I'm gonna be interesting to see if we can ramp that up to do more at the same time, right? So, but for now, I think it's just let's get our first ones going. This will be fine. If we have to come back for 2 trips, I'm okay with that. Give us a feel for how the whole thing's going to flow, and then we can talk about taking it to the next level. But I think I got at least some logical logistics happening. All right. So I'll see you at the sawmill. I had pre-thrown all the switches that I know will take us to where we want to go, except for that one. I think I've changed my mind and forgot to do that now that I look at it. So in other words, I was going to go in, pull up here when I was empty. I was about to ready to pull in here, then I really got to thinking about it more. So let's get past this. Oops. Too much brake or just the right amount? Look at that. Getting to be a pro here. Well, almost. Could have been a little more even. That'll apply the full brake force. I do wish we could get rid of that full braking, because I just wanted to throw some fuel. I'm getting pretty quick where I can almost not come to a stop, even on a flat, right? All right, so I should go flip this one. So let me show you what made me have the thought. It was really when I looked down there and I saw Betsy. So I came back around here, you can imagine, a few minutes ago. And I flipped this switch so because I knew I would back in this way. It would make sense. And then I said, well, let me go over because we'll load up the 2 cars for steel. Didn't matter which way we did it. But now I want to flip this back to go get the tier 2 flat cars. To me, just so you know, I don't know if everybody else is doing this. I wish they would make this differentiation. But to me, that's a flat car with the logs on it. That is a stake body car. Now, the flat car could be the same thing, but that has stakes on it, right? So that would be a good name. So I might start doing that. And I don't know what you would call this. This could definitely be a stake body, too. Maybe we call that the filled-in stake body. The only real difference is that this has a head on it, and the other one doesn't. Head and a tail. I don't know. Headboard, How about the headboard stake car? In any event, so you can see, like, coming down here, like, just as a normal business practice, so to speak, and I want to leave Betsy hooked up to here, it's going to be a pain to break up these, and we don't even really have to come over to this side of the works. So what I'm thinking of is, and I was thinking of making a bypass over here anyway so that we could loop right through, not that we needed it, and I'm not sure that we do now, but what I'm thinking of now is that we actually make it so that we can store these cars that we're not about to use someplace else, right? Maybe not today. We'll just back in here because we just need to get 4 carloads of beams. So we'll push in here. We'll push all these guys back, I should make sure, just in case, that this switch is... All right. Yeah, we don't need to... Well, you know what? I might even... This is kind of downhill into here, so I think we'll be all right taking that brake off. It's downhill. It's not going to go anywhere. Now, there is an issue with the game, it seems, and I did catch it the other day. I saw it for myself. Yeah, so this is switched the right way to just let us back in here. Now, if we're stuck that far out the back, it's kind of an issue because... Well, no, not really, because we're going to have to do this each time. We're going to have to come in here, back up like we are, into there, load up 4 more, and then take them back out. So we're not really even going to be able to go in this way and loop around like we have been, which is the reason for wanting that. So then the question is, do we put that over here, right, where we just leave that empty, put those rail cars somehow into this area so that we come in, load up, we'll make it nice and long so we can hold, maybe even more than 13, but certainly 13. Let's keep going while we got firewood in the thing. I think we're ready to go backwards. That makes sense. So we come down here, and then once you get your train, your consist built, like whatever loop. Now, see, that's the other problem here. We're probably almost, look, see, this is it. We get into this cycle where you can see it's wanting to push, but there's no reason you should have to have 44 there to get started, I don't think. Especially because I think this is even a little bit downhill at that point. Let's go nice and slow. So yeah, I'm picturing that we would have some kind of a yard in here where we could start storing some stuff. Like, even then, like, I would rather have not left those. Now I'm going to have to go back and get those hopper cars one way or the other, right? I'm going to have to come back up here. Well, I guess I could bring the hopper cars back up when I bring the 4 tier 2 stake cars back up. And eventually I'd like to make more trains. Maybe we use the Black Betsy or just regular Betsy for like a personal car because we don't have teleportation. And I'm sure, not every train engineer actually, takes a train everywhere he goes. I know for a fact that they relocate those guys. I was on a train talking to one of the engineers for Amtrak one time, and he was saying that he was just riding to the next, wherever his job was, like they wanted him someplace else. Because you think about it, you can cover a good distance on a train, even in a day. And they pay him for it, but I don't think I would imagine it doesn't really cost them that much money to, to send the guy up to a new city to go get a new certain train. And it doesn't count against his time that he's allowed to be in the cab, apparently. Now, this is the only thing I was worried about. It's like, will that stay close enough? And I didn't check I don't think we don't have a link in there. That's all right. Yeah, it bounced off anyway. So all right, so we'll do that, and then we need 4 of these. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's put just temporarily, we'll put the brake on this guy. Put the brake on this guy. I don't know. Now that I think about it, that was kind of dumb to... Did I finish my thought with these trains and why they'll pull apart on you? Sorry if I didn't. I do that all the time, I notice. I listen to my own videos. Yeah, I guess I should have finished that point. Sorry about that. It's just... I don't know. There was one YouTuber, used to make fun of himself with the distractions. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, not do that too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now we should be able to back up a tiny bit more. So the trains pop in before I did it again. The trains pop in before the actual pins do. Like, they don't all pop in at once. So a lot of times I just get out of the train on the principle of, I don't want to be in things in a game, like, because you get stuck in a game like this. this train will pop in, and then like I was standing like right there, and I guess I got in early enough, like because you can hear things popping in and starting to happen, like when it's still a black screen. Well, I came in and I saw the pins like literally falling down into it, and I thought, you know what, that's exactly what's happening. So you need to be careful not to park your cars on a downhill without something stopping them, like the brake or something. So if you put the brake on the last car or two, you know, if you're on a downhill slope, then they won't slide away from each other. If that makes sense. Because this car can get to, hear that noise? These cars can get to moving, and then the pins come down, and the car's not close enough. So I think that's what happened to us the other day. All right, so now let's do some switching, right? We should be ready to head back down there. And we'll have enough. Oh, we don't. No. We need to. I'm sorry. We took. Well, we do. We can do the switching now that I'm here. This is fine. This needs to go this way, and then. Come on. Why you no go? And then this one needs to be flipped over this way since we're already here. Now, and then that one is the wrong way too. We might as well flip that one before we forget. And we're already 3/4 of the way out here. Yeah, this one's okay, but that one, I don't want to go back up to the store when we come out of here. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, we can push these back even though we decoupled them, or do I just recouple that real quickly and then... All right, because, yeah, I guess I should, just out of the safety's sake. Now, I put that brake on. It's probably not a bad idea to keep that brake on. On that last car, even though we probably really, I don't know. Maybe we'll take it off for the sake of... But a lot of screen tearing going on, huh? They definitely need to improve the game as far as... Hopefully they don't. Yeah, they just it needs work. You can see the graphics kind of issues here and there. I mean, they've done a nice job. I'm enjoying the heck out of it, but I'm not. I guess I'm not as picky as some people are. And it's fine to be picky if that's the way you are. All right, so we want to push these out of the way. There we go. All right, now we're thinking straight. I need to get these at least far enough out of the way we can get 4 cars loaded up here. So we want to actually go, this counts as 1. Yeah, I think we want to like back up to like this one. The second one will be pretty close. Well, no, not. We want to park where this, well, whatever. We'll back up there and get this thing loaded. Forgot we had more cars on there. All right, we're good. So that's disconnected. I'll keep that in mind. Not that I think it's going to change my life much here. All right, we're out of firewood, but I think we should be all right. Another thing to mention that I read in a response from the devs was this fire temperature is really not the fire temperature, right? It's the change in it's the ability of the fire temperature to raise the water temperature, which really just makes like no sense. You know, why are we not going backwards, buddy? Right, so if you can picture it, it's like that the fire, it's like almost like they're giving you the temperature above the temperature of boiling water. Yeah, why are we not? Yeah, we shouldn't have to be giving 100. Or is it just because we're trying to push too many cars? Right. Oh, you know what? We have the brake on. Don't we? On that one car, I think. Yeah, we are pushing a lot of cars. There we go. Well, you can push this many cars in the game. Yeah, 50's not even keeping our momentum going. I thought maybe we were just having to overcome. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're now just at the... We got to go like at least 2 more car lengths back If this car, I think, gets to that marker, we should be pretty good. But we should actually, let's go further forward than that, or just so we got a little bit of wiggle room. All right, like I guess right about now would it be where, that doesn't even look right that well. Yeah, my guess is that now we would probably be kind of okay. Yeah, there's almost no doubt in my mind we're far enough back. So let's... I think would be okay to pull forward again, but I just want to see exactly where we're at with... There's 1, 2... Yeah, that was pretty good. Doesn't give us a lot of wiggle room, but we don't... Nope, that was on this one. See, this one should be locked. Yeah. Let's go relock. Okay, this will work out fine. We could push back further if we wanted to. And this is kind of where I want to get these guys out of the way, right? This is all causing a lot more work, but my goal here is to get us in crude oil and even making our first oil barrels before we start doing too much fancification. So this is really probably actually not in a bad spot either. I think they'll see if they hit separate ones. It's a little... Good. All right, well, I'm going to load this up, which isn't going to be too exciting. And you've seen me throw all the switches, and I'll get going... head down there, and the next stop will be at the ironworks. We need to drop off these 2 cars. Well, no, actually, we could bring them with us, can't we? Yeah, I mean, this could be our consist, though. I don't know that we'd want to drag these other 4 cars up here each time, right? No, you know what? I'm not done. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I need to go back even further, don't I? Because how am I going to put more logs in the other... Let's take the brakes off everywhere and push this guy back further, reattach him so we don't lose control of him. All right, well, you guys get the idea, I think. We'll go, let me just show you reattaching. Let's see if we, did we ever detach? Dispatch, that's a new word. Let's just do that for a second. Let's see how hard it is. Now that we're going this way and we already pushed them, is it any easier to push them now? Plus we're running out of fire. All right, since we ran out of fire, let me restoke the fire. I will get these 2 cars loaded up. I'm just going to push them back a little bit further. The video is getting a little bit long for still having a lot of stops, so... I will see you as soon as we get done, when we get back down to the ironworks. Here we are rolling in, and I'll tell you what, this train is very hard to pull. I don't think all of these rail cars are created exactly equal when it comes to... But I know a boxcar should weigh more than that, but this seems to really be struggling with this. But if you notice way back there, it's a little hard to see while we're doing this, but I have 8 beam cars because I was not doing the proper mathematics to try to balance these things out, which is good, right? It does make sense, but there's each of the tier 1 flat cars, the regular old flat cars, are going to require, we're going to carry 12, so we need 12 of each, so that's 4 times 3, we need 8 cars, right? So we're going to have 24, 3 times 8 is 24, and then 2 times 12 is 24, so that's, so I had a little math there. But see how I'm really pushing it as far as the regulator goes here. I'm not sure it's, I need to go back and make sure that we don't have brakes on now that I think about it, but I really don't think we do. So let's see how well we make it around here. So I left the bypass on. I know that. So, because we still have the 5 hopper cars from last episode in there. Look at, see how that's 70? I mean, that's, I don't know. I don't think we got an update since I last played. I just played yesterday. We didn't get an update. So this episode is being recorded the next day. But it's all fresh in my mind what we did or didn't do. So we can pick up all the things. Now, I have heard that the tools can be finicky to load, so I'm hoping that we've got it right somehow. Don't know why people would have complained about that one particular thing. And then I thought I heard that they either planned on improving that or they did. Let's make sure everybody makes it around that turn. Yeah, so we used a lot of water and a lot of steam, which I'm happy about. I'm glad to see that this porter just can't endlessly pull things. All right, so we're going to want to stop to get. I don't know if I have this marked out that well down here yet. Really haven't picked up anything, so we don't have many marks. Yeah, I guess we should make the marks on that side, huh? So let's see if we can't pull up for the steel beams. That 44, that just seems like it's a lot. It's certainly a lot relative to where we've been before. Good, we can see the shadows here, right? Yeah, look at that. That's just not even... I might have brakes on that I'm not aware of. I wonder if I had the brakes on those flat cars. Did I ever really check that? Probably do have brakes on, I bet. Just because it is really fighting me. Let's see how close we are. So what I've been doing... Yeah, see, we're not really that close. It's always just so deceiving. It's so hard to see in this game. So really, if you look, right, we want to be right where the back of this car is, like that would be dead center. So if I were to come up, up to this one, right, the middle of the car here, well, let's see, I confused myself because I was talking when I was doing it, but I want this mark to be, like if right now, like let's pretend there was a mark here. Well, now I want that mark to be back further, about the half the distance of the car. So let's go ahead and put a mark. Well, do we want it this way or do we want it on the other side? Well, we can't really get it on the other side. We can make marks here, right? We can always change this. So I'll put a mark like here and then we'll back up to it. But let me check something here. No brake there. No. Oops. Yep. That's what it was, riding with the brakes on. Yep. How did that one get on? That was an odd one to have on. Maybe was that where I was going to brake it before and I never... Yeah, that's the negative side to not checking. Well, good. At least that explains. Yeah, I should have dawned on me well before it actually did. Oops. Jeez. All right, so let's back up to this mark and see if it's good, and then we can start making some more marks. All right, this isn't exactly how we'll do it. We might need even more future marks. But I don't know if I really showed you my... Nah, well, we've seen it enough. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Alright, so is that... Oh, something happened. Missed. No, that's too far back. Why is that too far back? Oh, because I probably... Yeah, no, that's definitely too far back. I am a little far back there. Let's see. Oh, I wonder if you know what? It could be that these cars are Oh yeah, there goes Betsy. Betsy, or not Betsy. Beastie, number 2. Oh, stop, break. That should be pretty good, I think. No, now we're too far. Oh, yeah. Well, these cars could be a different length, right? I don't really know that. Maybe they're not, but that could be part of the battle here. I know the other flat cars are all the same. And I'm not even so worried about... There you go. Is that right in the middle? Yeah, pretty much close enough. So I really wasn't even that worried about over there. I was more worried about over here, right? Because I want to mark all of these for when we're coming back the other way. Now, how is this? Yeah, see, our bypass. I think we could maybe fit all those in, but usually what I'll do is come up to, like, say, over here. Right, and then... no. Let's do it to, like, there. Now we can delete that piece. Won't let you click on those. But if you want, you can come... I noticed you can come all the way down here. Right, probably should, right? Why don't we just keep on going? We're going to want to do it over here eventually. I'm not sure how far we need it, but we might as well make it look reasonable, right? Don't need to end it right there. And that could be a little higher out of the grass. It would be nice if you could remove the grass at a certain point. I'm not sure how much it matters, but... Here we go. So... do I put one here? Let's say why not. So let me just cut the video real quick, and I'll put all these markers in, and then we'll come right back. We have kind of a big problem. I just tried to load 2 beams on, and it threw them right over it. So our track here is just way too close. So that's part of what people were complaining about. So unfortunately, we just wasted 2 steel beams. What I would like to do, I guess, is get this guy back out of here now, and then we'll have to see about, we're gonna have to redo this a little bit. Which is kind of a shame because this turn was the heck of the turn to get just right? So we'll have to see, maybe we can move this over without too much pain. All right, let me get this guy out of the way. Now, how much time do we have left in the episode? Yeah, we have some time. I'm not sure if it's enough to redo it completely, but maybe I'll redo some of it off camera. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We just made all of our nice new marks and everything, and maybe that's, maybe you shouldn't jump the gun too much. I don't know that we'll have to redo the marks, but I guess they might still line up. Oops, let's give it full reverser. Yeah, apparently it doesn't come into play in the game. I've been reading what some people have been saying about the reversers. But we don't have any. We're just going to give it 1, 2. Need that because we're gonna not be. I just want to get enough pressure to get out of here. Ooh. Yeah, that's exactly what people were complaining about, huh? And it's, certainly not. I mean, if that's going to shoot it right over, I can kind of see. Maybe we can kind of figure the distance by, like, eyeballing it somehow. It really would be nice if they gave you some kind of a measuring tool in the game. Now, is there any other improvements we could make? Well, Not really. There's a lot of switches up here. If we needed to ever leave cars, we could make it longer down that way. But I think we got plenty of length here. We're not... Like, if we wanted to leave a whole train's worth here, which we could do one day, like I said, but... Yeah, I guess we should just get off of this turn altogether. Now, we do have to watch our water level here. And I say that because I'm just as likely to forget about the water level in the future. If we just get off of this turn altogether, in case we end up redoing it. No sense to jam it up. Now, I could actually, you know what, maybe we'd pull up. I'll pull up enough that I can switch over. I won't do that on camera, but I could pull up where I could reload up with some firewood and some, we'll do the water tower thing. Which I did do before we even headed down here, but ran out of wood because I left the brakes on. Well, our new goal is just to get this thing loaded, I think, by the end of the... Well, who knows if we'll even get it by the end of the episode. But I'd like to. I think I might even do enough off camera. If you've noticed, I have been doing more off camera. Let me know your opinion on that. Yeah, see, we could flip this back. All right, head that way. We'll get water and whatnot. Come back around the other way when we're... Yeah, so we're going to have to get rid of this switch. We'll at least do this to get to the point we'll get together and get rid of this. So how can we measure this out? So I'm going to assume this game has pretty good physics in it, right? Pretty logical for the most part. Let's come here. I just want to do this real quick. And I want to do one full rail from like the middle of right here, right by this tree. Let's just, or tree, that's not a tree. Little scrub brush there. Right, let's see. Yeah, one. Right there. So that's one full rail. We're not even close. We're like halfway, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we stretch out a whole rail that way, and then notice I didn't count the end one, right? Because that's like off a little bit. So but I did count the one that's right there. So we're going to try to... Yeah, this one is pretty darn close. I'm just saying if I attach this, right? So let's see what happens if I... So if we do a full straight rail, it doesn't matter if it's... We want to make sure we're not on a graphics thing, right? It's a shame that you can't warp that. Like, you would think that if they wanted you to be flexible in the way you could do intersections, why not have a tool that could like flip that into a four-way? That way, if you ever wanted to come in at an angle, and if you got it nice like that, you know, a slightly different angle than 90 degrees, you could go boom, like, and form it, you know. Not sure how hard that would be. All right, so this one was going to be the 0, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the center of the track should be like right here. Now, can I get a track down? So it's going to be this beam right here. Can I get at least a marker track at the right height? Right. Well, yeah, there's no sense in having this. Now, we probably could do the same thing here, or do we just try to keep it straight? Now, how close do these two look? And we're going to need to get rid of this switch too. Probably that section. Now, do these look like they're the same distance and the same? There's only one of them, but let's do the same thing just to make sure, because these things are awful expensive down here to be thrown on the ground and having them disappear. All right, let's do that. We'll do our best to get this started. I'm talking about right by here, wherever that is, like. So let's just kind of confirm. So there's, I'm not going to count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that's the same. No, I guess since we're already here, why don't we do... And by the way, I'm stretching these all the way out like this because I noticed the distance in between them shrinks and goes. So I'm trying to get at least to they're reasonably close. Now this one's a little off, right, compared to the other one. Like in the sense, I don't think this beam was right. I think if anything, that beam was kind of over here. But let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means I'm going to just cheat it a little bit this way, right? So just off of the center of the track's going to be right off of that plant right there. Glad that plant was there now, that I didn't delete it. Alright, so this one's going to be, let me say, right there. How's that look? Let's just go down. This one definitely seems further in, right? Oh, wait, you know what? No. I'm looking at the old track. Yeah, it is a little bit in. See, it's hard to see this. So, you know what? Let me go up here for you. That's the we don't need this anymore. Right. Yeah, I don't think we need... Yeah, I think I'm liking where this is. See, now that we can see that, see, it's the track's not straight. And it does curve back this way a little bit, but that's fine because I think, you know, if I'm looking straight down that other one, I'm not looking straight down this one. It's off about 6 or 8 inches. Yeah, where this is, yeah, it's not, again, the sections of track aren't particularly straight the way they have to go, but we can quickly here adjust for that. And we can get rid of that, right? Yeah, so let's just make a nice straight section from here to there. Then we'll delete these 2 end pieces. I have seen some people that look pretty decent. I've seen some people... Yeah, if we have this... I don't want to, like, cheat it too much, right? I don't think it is that much, but really we could have like a slight curve, but like try to keep this one a little bit truer to parallel. Like we don't want to cut back too fast, right? See, it's going to put that up in the air. Let's get rid of all this. Oh, whoa, shoot. Well, yeah, I want to come back in a little. You know what? Okay, that's right. We got the plant, right? I want to be... The center of the track wants to be just off to that plant. Oops, yeah, I shouldn't... I don't know what I should have done, but it doesn't matter now. I deleted it, but... Oh, now the worst part is... Yeah, let's go back another one so that we can... This should have a slight turn to this track, right? Not this one, the last one. Straight. See this? I want this to have a slight turn to it. Yeah. And then I want you to go straight again. Past there.
turn around, see how this looks. You know, actually, I don't think it's too unreasonable to start. We could have a slight turn in there, right? And let's see. Yeah, it's a bit abrupt, isn't it? But I think we got it pretty good to like straight past here and straight past there. I think the only thing to do now is to meld them together a little bit less wonky than that. There we go with that word wonky again. All right, let's take this. All right, we'll do a little bit gradualer. There you go. It's still a little bit sharp, but I don't think that's gonna. We're gonna be pretty slow speed coming in there. And then, as far as having deleted all of this, I might have been a little bit over ambitious. I think I might just put a switch. Well, yeah, I guess I want to get rid of that, huh? I think I might just put a switch right on there and see what that looks like. Does it take me too far? Which straight? I'm going to do right. This, right? How does that? Whoa! That's not what we wanted. Nah, that's too much. Too much by far. Trying to take the difference as best I can. All right. Trying to picture the way that curved around and seeing if we can we just do that, or is that going to be... It doesn't look perfect, but it really doesn't look that awful either, does it? Now, I'm not sure if looking that awful is the greatest criteria, but sometimes I think these rails, mathematics, don't always completely follow the visual thing, which I think is what gets people when it comes to like trains flying up in the air and such. That's, you know, I think kind of reasonable given the slapped together nature of it. All right. So now, see about reattaching this guy. I really should have taken out that and that first. So we are on a fairly straight. Let's see how this... I think I could lay this okay, but I think the computer will mess it up a little bit. We'll see. We could use a bit of a straight section there, I think. Yeah. Not unhappy with that. Get rid of all of this up to there. Go in that extra section. Might feel like a pain in the behind, but this one we might get away with. Yeah, this one looks pretty darn straight. Now we want to switch left thing on the right. Yeah, that's, I might get rid of that one piece, because see how this one's not quite pointed at it. But I bet you if we go from there up to there, that's, yeah, it's not the straightest track, but we didn't want it to be. You do start getting eagle eye for these things if you do it enough. Here we go. That reach? No, not quite. Yeah, there we go. And then this one's the straight section, right? So we should be able to, let's come off of here and see if we can. Like sometimes it's easier to come off the switch than the straight, because you kind of, it's a little easier to see what you're doing. Where like the straight, because I'm picturing a line almost where that line is in the stones. Right? Like as I come into it, I want to like gently come into the line that's the straight line of the track. And that's how you make a nice turn. And swung it a little bit wider than we needed, but that's okay. We'll see. Let's see how this works out. So we're like a lot further away. Remember, we were over here. Yeah, this switch is switched right. No, let's switch it back the other way. The good news is if we do get busier down here, we can go further out that way a lot. If we want to leave more cars in here, we're not so boxed in down here. Now, one of the problems that I think there's going to be a balancing issue down here anyway, because we need the tools for the oil field, but we don't need them for the refinery. So I think there's going to be some kind of an imbalance at some point. All right, so we were going to flip around the other way and get some water. Why don't I do that? Let me get this train moved over, spin around. I'll take a look. When I do all these little segments, it's hard for me to keep track of exactly how long the video is. And if we could get over to the whatever the heck you call it, the oil field, I wouldn't mind, but we might just do that the next episode. So let me cut it here. I'll pull around. I'll get some water, some firewood, and then I'll meet you back when we go to load up this time. There we go. We have water. We are pulled up over by the tools, because that's just sort of how it worked out when I flipped around the other way there. And we are ready to give this a shot. Fingers crossed, but it certainly made sense, the logic anyway, right? Let's see, we can keep our eye on the freight here. See if it works. What? Boy, the suspense takes a lot longer. Oh, did it do it? And it missed? Yeah, I think it missed. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I hit the button. I don't know. Oh no, it made it. What was I looking at before? Freight 1, but why did it not, or did I just not hit the thing? It is possible that I didn't. There we go. Yeah, so it made it. So this holds 32? Holy, my little chart is wrong. Yeah, let's see. Do we get? No. No, it's not getting it. Why is it? So do we need to? Well, this is frustrating too. I could see why people are. Right, because we've thrown some of the most expensive items to make. I don't care what the actual dollars are. Yeah, why would that be throwing it on the ground? You know, like I need to do a little bit of an investigation. Let's go see. Let's do this. I want to pull forward. Let's see if the pipes get on there. And then I need to go do some investigation. I know I need to go look at someone else's video, or that just doesn't make any sense why that wouldn't have dropped in there. You know, like I'm not sure. Did they have to be like that much further away? And if I'm going to do this, then I'm not going to sit here and like blow valuable resources by just guessing without having a save, and I'll go back to the save and just redo it, you know. There we go. Now, could it have been that I was too far forward or too far back? I think I'm too far forward here. Go back to my, let's assume for a minute my mark was good. Yeah, and I don't want to sit here and just constantly be rebuilding. And I'm actually kind of running out of time now that this is, and I mean that from the sense of the video. So it was, as I get to like, oh, I want to end the video, I start getting in a rush, and I've noticed I've done. It just doesn't help you do logical things when you're rushing. Oh, I should have hit just one. Living large. Yeah, so this is working. So this is the right distance, but for some reason that isn't. So let me pause the video here, because we still have a few minutes before we hit the hour mark, and we'll see if I can't figure out some advice, and then I'll come back after I get done, and then I'll have made a save. So if I have to, like, you know, if I have to work it out by just reloading the save periodically so that I don't, you know, so that I can always go back to when we had good steel, you know, or good, didn't blow a lot of those resources. All right, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. I had a thought, and I figured a couple things out. I did watch minutes of someone Blue Wizard's and video, and he does make some nice videos. But I noticed we did get one of them on here. Now, he went and built like this ramp up. He's like 3 foot in the air and on. I think he's troubleshooting ability was limited. What I want to do, it did appear that he was probably a little bit further away, right? Because what he had done was gone and said, okay, I'm going to put, like he says, I know we need to be at least this far away, right? So he laid a track out like, oops, not long enough, like here, and so we need to be at least that far away, and then he was even further than that far away. So what I want to do is just make one real weak attempt here. Let me do this off camera, because we're running out of time if I want to stay under the hour. Not that it's that important, but I really would like to get these tools loaded. But I'm going to try to swing that out at least that far and see if we get it, because we already got one in there, right? So I'm wondering, you know, that he wasn't having other problems with what he was doing. So then the other side of this is, you know, picture these devs are doing these things on the fly, and as they're troubleshooting them, all right, I really want to just get out of this mode. I don't know what's happening here now. Let's demolish. Yeah, that's what I want. Right, that's the switch itself. All right, so if we demolish this, though, I'm thinking, you know how we went through all that pain to go straight? What if I just didn't turn, right? Like if we just went straight from that point that I kind of wanted to here, you know, like we can kind of go right past those tracks. So let me build this real quick, and then I'll be right back. There we go. So now I did save it, and all I did was kind of bring it straight from here. You could maybe cheated it a little bit wider than I might normally. And then I just swung what we had back around. Now I'm not sure if that's going to cause problems. I also disconnected those other cars so that it would just be a little bit easier for me to get off of here and get back on without dragging all that with me. So there we go. So this is just exactly that. Now the other thing I noticed is that these doors open. So now when he loaded, he was also, you know, but we got one on. That's the other thing, that he was like, he built his track like 3 feet in the air, you know, like this high, so that this thing was like literally almost just like sticking it in the door. So I stopped almost pretty deliberately right here, because I want to see if it has to do with this back and forth. And I did save it so that we have 77. So if we mess up, I'm just going to unsave it. So let's just see if this... And the reason I stopped here is because, look, there's the platform, right? Just because, look at that. So it hit the top of the train. That's what happened. All right, so let's pull forward and see if we put the door right about even with the thing. Does that make a difference? Right? Is there a hitbox or something on the top that You know, like there could be, when you build a game, for those of you that don't know, you have the graphics part, but see, like what I'm highlighting is likely to be the hitbox, meaning it has collisions on it. Yeah, so now we're actually kind of too far. Let's just see what happens, right? Because we're gonna, this is just a grand experiment at this point. Yep, see that? It put it up on top. So let's just go see if we get it in the right spot where I intended to. Just want to go back a little bit. Wondering if you just got to get it right near the door. Okay, go backwards. Probably good. Is that? No. But it's close, right? Let's just see if... So I see why he's building it up higher. Yeah, look at that. It just pops it up out of there. That's why he built it up higher. Wow. Okay. Well, I think we come back in the next episode and fiddle fart with this because we just sort of ran out of time. You know, like, so we'll... Sorry to leave you guys on that note, but we are at an hour point, and it's just going to be too much to try to, like, build that up in the air. Well, no, it isn't. You know what? Well, you know, I'd rather do the building together. I think the building is fun. I think it's good to see the details of it. And for those of you who don't want to see the details, you can always skip ahead, right? So, but in any event, there we go. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, we're going to have to raise that up. I see why he did that. That's great. Take care. Bye-bye.